Poems for Self at Sea, a collection of 30 poems about mental ill health. From Bell Ringing, a poem by Rogan Wolf. The attainment of perfect rest is when chaos is held on a point and, poised, just so, the moment cups you. Here in the waiting room, I am cupped. I am held aloft. My poise is perfect here. I am almost flying. Off My Tree by R. I'm off my tree. Save me. Save my tree. Save my old buildings. Save my police station. Save me. Save my old library. Books are trees. I in my tree. I'm off my tree. I'm out of my tree. I'm in my tree. I'm nuts. In a squirrel tree. I scream. Blood Trapped in My Veins by Ruby from HMP EWP. Blood trapped in my veins. And me, trapped behind bars. One of us has to escape the boiling rage with myself and him, abusing me year after year. Cutting myself gives relief. At least I have a choice of how deep I let it go. At least my boiling blood has freedom to go and flow. Cliff by Rogan Wolf. Cliff visits once a week just for the art group. His touching base between far-flung voyages at a place of calm waters. His eyes hold so much light they frighten us, as if drops of the Aegean have been translated there, lit by their own wild skies. And his paintings hold a frightening power. Some have been exhibited. His figures are saints, calm-faced, their bodies knotted like martyrs in agony. Their sexual convolutions a nightmare of unfulfillment, a climactic frenzy of the celibate crayon. He is the despair of his poor mother. Night after night she twists between the sheets at each new thought and turmoil of him. Her love is nails. He slouches into the art room like a frightened bear, escaping into the hills. Crashes by Jessie Ferguson. Do you know what it feels like when everything you look at makes a sign? When you are doubly in time, so that you are lost like two cars going at different speeds, one going forward, one in reverse. From I Am by John Clare. I am. Yet what I am, none cares or knows. My friends forsake me like a memory lost. I am the self-consumer of my woes. They rise and vanish in oblivious host, like shades in love and death's oblivion lost. And yet I am, and live with shadows tossed. Into the nothingness of scorn and noise, into the living sea of waking dreams, where there is neither sense of life nor joys, but the vast shipwreck of my life's esteems. Going Custody by Rogan Wolf. Let me say how everything goes custody when I get low, thickens and clogs and dogs my way. A trip to the shops becomes hike to the pole, and whole world becomes steep hill and beckoning edge. Just to rise from my bed, I must lift weights from my chest and forced grey draperies from my eyes, my stone face. Haiku by A.P.J. I'm a samurai, so conversation has to be clear. No bad say. Hotel Gordon by Sarah Wardle. An Irishman with holes in his boots, fresh from the soup kitchen and Victoria Station. A South African sleeping in night buses. Visitors not even speaking the language of the country, let alone the sense of sanity. Women with histories of sad adoptions. A man from Eton addicted to drink and crack. A black man knifed and abused as a child, yet gentle as the father he became at 16. An Italian who lost her mother aged 4. All these, I mean, people lost in the in-between of life, as some make good and others fall back. In Solitary by Janie Antonio. To lift up my voice in song in this world, sick with the pain of compliance, cross-legged, head bowed, unheard. In hell I would sing on my own, beautifully and terribly, technically right, cacophony with other songs, all solo. There would be harmony, concord in heaven, the music surrounding us all, sending shivers of joy down my spine. Can I sing here? I don't know. Barred windows, fragmented and far from light. Slowly, softly, sadly, alone. Morgan by Rogan Wolf. When I hear the church clock strike, I know at that moment Morgan, somewhere in torment, has just begun to inhale. For this is Morgan's parish. St. Mary's sounds the quarters around Morgan's soul. Time hangs heavy on him. It forces flesh on him. Beneath the haggard white line of that anchorite cheekbone, 4 old clocks on blackened lengths of string ride him everywhere he travels. Should one get stolen or just plain stop, he reasons 3 ought to do, to fly him like a wounded jumbo home for a crash landing. Home is all oeuvre, a live sculpture formed from within. For years the parish has supplied him with his materials, and as the supply has continued unchecked, so Morgan's room to breathe has slowly diminished. Meticulous and fragile collections of litter now fill each room like library shelves. Only his narrow bed remains clear for him. In the dense darkness, radios hang like bats from the ceiling, each tuned to a different world station, each turned full on. All night and from all quarters, the world engages him. Babel Lord, Morgan gathers round his bed whatever is waste, whatever discord. The sweetness in his smile is incomprehensible, but that melodious voice, those fastidious semantic games we engage in, do sometimes seem to carry pleasure. The bruised eyes sparkle, harbouring gaiety. We make much of him. We sit with him, tolerating the smell, the innumerable tatters, the festooning plastic bags, those brutal clocks. Perhaps, after all, it is permissible to clear pain away from an instant or two of each day, here in Morgan's parish. On the Edge by Hilary Porter. The edge entices me. The waves roar below, their majesty summons me. In the presence of old Harry, my craven self struggles with a braver soul who would risk this precarious high-wire path to reach the very pinnacle. The seagulls shriek their challenge. I pause to savour the exquisite trepidation, knowing I am in control. Stepping back from danger, I retrace my steps to firmer ground, still wondering how it would have felt to take to the skies and fly. On the Ward by Andrew. Trapped like a bird in the snare, lost in a sea of sorrow, I have dreams of what I can do, but see no end to this night. The outside world is worlds away, but who am I to question a system that has existed so long? I am one man, almost a child, too small to pit myself against these forces, these encampments. Where is my God that he can rescue me? I lift up my eyes to a heaven now empty. Where is my God? And why is he so silent? The Centre Meal by Rogan Wolf. Something of grace about the meal, something electric forging the dull elements into a new and hushed and human vibrancy, a making. The food is fresh made, just here, each choice of menu a matter of urgency, personal risk and heated debate, resolved in meetings weeks in advance. The tables are round, of plain deal, but 5 years on, still surprisingly smart. They like the tables. They remember earlier times. We used to eat on trays all around the 2 rooms, and we had to queue quietly in a long line. No one questioned it. Who were we to complain? The 2 cooks get a tenner and a free meal. There is a stringent job description, so the money's hard-earned. They sit apart once the meal is served, eating with their morning's worker. The morning sweat, drying on 3 foreheads, seals their fellowship. And they come, the people, from all their far edges, from all their fastnesses, to sit here at the plain deal, 8 per table, forming the circle. They come with their famishment no food can satisfy, with their lostness no finding here can heal. The limitation of the event, with its essentialness, the simplicity of the being together in these plain circles, with the distance each has travelled to get here. Simply the eating makes a new sense here, a true valuing. No one would dare say grace here, but grace is present in all the racket of the business of eating, the clatter, the voices rise and fall, in every movement of fork to lips, of eye to eye, in every word that is spoken, in every moment the circles remain unbroken. From what forsaken places are we gathered here today? 19 Lines by P. 19 times you shouted, "Lunchtime!" 19 people queuing to eat. 19 peas on my plate. 19 minutes before I go back. 19 times you shouted, "Medication!" 19 people queuing to medicate. 19 tablets passed over the counter. 19 minutes before I go back. 19 times you shouted, "Smoking!" 19 people run to the door. 19 cigarettes lighted up. 19 minutes before they go back. 19 times I wished I was there. 19 times I wished I wasn't. 19 times it's been a second. 19 times it's been an hour. 19 times I thought I could cope. 19 times I realized I couldn't. Because I'm only 19. Ophelia in London, Janie Antonio. You drift in white along the embankment, with restless hands and voice, whispering. Footfalls, scrapes and echoes in the night silence. A shadow leaps to touch yours before passing. Another tortured soul mutters and slinks in the yellow lamp flare. Your thoughts bend and race and slide in chaos, never meeting in coherence and full stops. Cruel voices, laughing, teasing, mocking in your mind. Will it be the river, my lady? The oily, silent Thames, or the thundering, rusty train wheels? The hospitals are full. Ophelia, Ophelia, walking in the back streets with weary, wide, unfocused eyes, singing and sad. The drugs don't work. There are no beds. So in the end, there only is the grass-green turf and stone. Paranoia by Liam T. Kirk. Hello, diary. Is it my imagination, or am I being watched by Social Security spies out to strip me of my welfare benefits? Desperately seeking to cut benefit fraud and save the taxpayers' money with the justification that the saved public funds can employ more nurses and build more hospitals. More nurses to tell me that I am suffering from paranoia and I'm insane to believe that the government would be spying on me. Meeting the Hummingbird, Rogan Wolf. I found myself the other night descending a bottomless pit, without foothold in the world, and endless my falling. Then a hummingbird placed itself in the air opposite my face, and I said, Lord, help me. I'm going nowhere at savage speed and cannot stop. And the tiny bird said, learn my lightness, so you may pause and see that falling is just clumsy. No need. Just ride these waves I made. Ride me. Poem for the Psychiatrist, Janie Antonio. I come to your door. I have schizophrenia. I want to be cured. Please make it all right. Now, now. You are the great consultant, miracle worker, pharmacist friend, demigod, doctor. But in truth a human with knowledge of effect and cause and effect. You can go home and forget, but I live with this mist, mire, madness, mockery of life. I've danced on the rails in the path of a train. I've wandered the streets at night in the rain. I've jumped in the Thames when I've been insane. I get confused. But remember, when reality returns the direction of my actions, the nightmare continues into the light of day as I desperately try to reverse arrest or robbery. Get me right. I don't want to be in the grey existence between waking and sleeping, with only the thought of others fed into me, a medicated mannequin. I want to be well, and I want to be alive. Can we do this, you and me, or is this forever? Refusing to Walk by Corinne Levick. When it was all pain, my feet stayed cool. When I was possessed, my feet refused to walk. I touched you with my toe. It was the truest touch. Schizophrenia Day by A.P.J. Light day. Light of the day, same for your chances, as long as you may, for we need you to stay. Can I live? Poem Day. Poems are for sharing, freeing, mending, thought-free chances. Please stay. Can I live? Black Day. For complex thought always give us the right to come back and say, never try to deflect him, for he is one blackness. Can I live? Life Day. Life is an art that cannot be erased. Can I live? Schizophrenia Day. It is the wanting of stability with the universe life when you see a rainbow. Schizophrenia by Simon Partridge. Schizophrenia is like looking at the sun. It is beautiful, but it makes you blind. Something Happens by Carson. Something happens. Something wrong happens, though you may not know it's wrong at the time. The wrong that has happened comes again and never leaves. It comes again and again. Speak to Me by Salima Hill. I'm going to stop. I'm going to start again. I'm going to make strategic little piles of things like cigarettes and sugar cubes and bantam's eggs and cubes of cattle cake and range them along your route until you notice them. And then I'm going to balance slightly larger things like fish or fruit or tulips on my head, whispering as I walk, speak to me, whispering, speak to me, please. The Carer's June Berry by Rogan Wolf. Caring is the ground of human being. Trees begin with only ground. Shyly they cling to it, desperate for its riches and continuity. May the ground of our June berry be rich and continuous, so that in years ahead, past our knowledge, today's quiet planting in a small park of this vast northwestern city will make a song of praise each time the wind blows. May the song be rich and the tree vivid in the June sunshine. May the weary ground find voice in the light-hearted song of this tree. The Impatient Meal by Andrew. A hungry man, a tired soul, a new world. A plan unfolds to eat, to live. To have this meal, I know is mine, and do not steal. What can I eat and how much at a time? When can I speak? What worlds may I claim? I know today that I am not free, but I shall eat this food with dignity. We Don't by Mason Natty Jiao. We don't mentally ill, nah, we simply suffered stress, and stress means rest, and not a rested. We not antisocial, we chords them keep us focused, we roots and things, we music and hymns. We no hopeless, though we loves to dress, putting on de Ritzes, pop, waltzing, rock and things. From the Centre for Mental Health by Rogan Wolf. They begin to congregate past midday, like ragged butterflies around the buddleia. A park bench out front offers some dignity, but most prefer the doorstep and way before time start leaning on the doorbell, having nothing to be here for but here. From the hostels, the bedsits, the bare flats, from lives lived in shadow and on the edge of everything, it is here they congregate to establish meaning. Here is their centre. They say this: I am someone here. I am heard.